Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or watch our video podcast. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's the Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-dallying a little bit, talking about her trip to Panama on her 40th birthday. Then we're going to be talking about Kamala Harris's interview, Trump at Arlington Cemetery, and scammers. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. You 40 now.
I'm 40 now. I've been saying I'm 40 for probably about 4 years now, but
Wait a minute.
now
40
it's actually true. Yeah, because like once I hit 36, I was like, okay, I'm 40.
That's not how that works, but okay.
That's how I felt. So
Okay.
I was like, let me get used to it.
Right.
Let me take it out for a spin. And now that I am 40, I feel very settled in it. Like I feel really good about it.
I want to get to your trip, but first, the audience hasn't had you on here like officially. You've been released in shows, but you haven't done anything for a couple of weeks. We know that this is 40 because you have COVID.
I do.
And
I have COVID.
And we
Yeah.
were talking about it before you jumped in. You was like, you got that COVID mouth.
I got COVID mouth. So it's the medication for COVID, Paxlovid. Apparently it gives you this really bad metallic taste in your mouth. And it's so terrible. Like I can't even sleep. It tastes so bad. But if it, helps it resolve quicker and I don't develop long haulers or whatever it's supposed to do, then I'm going to just keep popping these pills. Y'all can judge me if you want to. Yeah, I'm boosted. And your point, I bet you I'm going to get over it and be back on my feet. I'm already feeling better.
Good.
That's why I'm here on the show. I'm already feeling better.
And it was good because we'll get to your party in a minute, but you had a party that could have been a super spreader, but I didn't get it. Our brother didn't get it.
Yeah.
None of the people that we know of got it.
Right. Yeah. Luckily, I've already had, I let some people know, especially people that I was in close contact with that night.
Mhm.
And a couple of them have already taken tests. They're fine. One person does have the sniffles. We're keeping an eye on it. I'll keep you updated on that. But other than that, yeah, it could have definitely, but I don't think I was contagious yet. That next day when I was completely out of it, that was the start of me getting sick. So because the night of the party, I felt fine. No coughing, no sore throat. I mean, I had no symptoms whatsoever. So I'm hoping that, and I didn't really start to get really sick till like Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm hoping that,
Yeah, if
no
the party was literally a week ago, if
Yeah.
anybody was going to have it, they would have it now.
by now, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank
All right.
goodness, not a
Let's-
super spreader event.
Right. Thank goodness, because I don't want that. I don't want the vid. But let's talk about your trip. Tell the audience about your trip to Panama.
I had a ball. Like Panama owes me absolutely nothing. I went with 4 of my close friends, and we were there for a week, and we did everything. Like we did everything. I literally have no complaints. I got to feed a monkey a grape. A wild monkey just jumped out of the trees onto our boat. I fed him a grape. Saw sloths. Went to the Panama Canal. So the thing is, and this is the funny thing. So we know what the Panama Canal is. Like,
Right.
we know what it is. It's a canal, through Panama.
That's what it is.
But it was just funny because when we all got there, someone had the courage to ask, what's the significance of the Panama Canal? And I was like, you know what? I know what it is, but I don't know the significance. So getting to see that it's important to commerce globally, and there are many, many, countries that have a financial interest in it, in not just Panama City being safe and thriving, but also that, the canal is up and running and thriving. And so Panama City felt very safe to me. They everybody was so friendly, so cool. Like, I got to party. They got a great rooftop scene.
Okay.
You could do bar crawls. Like, the old town is beautiful. The new Panama City with the high rises looks like almost like Dubai. Like, the skyline is like
Mm.
it's really dope. It's such a dope place. If you get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. I loved Panama.
In the Panama Canal, how they got goods and services from European and Asian countries to the US?
It's how they get through.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm at.
instead of having to go 21 days around
Right.
tip of South America to get from the Atlantic to the Pacific or back, it's
Mhm.
just you can just cut through.
Yeah.
So it's
It's a
incredibly
shortcut.
it's a shortcut, and it saves a lot of time and a lot of money, and a lot of countries, probably like I think like 30 something countries had a hand in its like newest renovation and things like that. And
Mhm.
um yeah, so it's incredibly important. And I just want to say shout out to Jimmy Carter for giving it back.
That's
You
the
know,
reason why
the
they lost the election, though.
we lost the election, but it was the right thing to do. We had a treaty. It was up.
Mhm.
You know, give it to the people of Panama so they can use it and use that income for their own infrastructure. Is it is it going great? In some areas.
Okay, it's so bad.
In some areas, not. And it was funny because when we were riding through those rougher areas, it looked like a lot of places, it looked like a war zone. Like, it looked like bombed out. And so we were asking the tour guide, like, what's happened here? Like, why has no one come in and try to rebuild or anything like that? And it was because the United States came down to get Noriega?
Manuel Noriega, yes.
Yes, and all that destruction was in the apprehension
Yeah,
of Noriega, down
that
there,
was a
so
long time ago.
and the buildings are still the same.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? We put Manuel Noriega in power.
Yeah,
Yeah, we put him in power, because we felt that he would be a better leader to make sure that
yeah,
communism didn't spread, but also he was a narco terrorist.
yeah,
He made deals with Pablo Escobar and the whole
yes,
Medellin cartel, and
mhm,
yeah, there's a long history in that. Don't believe me? Just look it up. Google, ladies and
yeah.
gentlemen, is your best friend. So
Also
Panama is really dope.
also Panama hats, not from Panama. Uh,
Where are they from?
they're actually from Ecuador.
Okay,
So when who was it that went down there? I wanna say maybe Roosevelt? When they were building the canal in the early 1900s?
that sounds about right. Theodore,
Yes.
because
So
there's two Roosevelts. So you're talking
yes,
about Theodore,
Theodore Roosevelt,
Teddy.
he bought the hat in Ecuador,
Hmm.
but was wearing it around while, working on the canal. And so it got associated to Panama. They sell the hat everywhere, but anybody that you see wearing the hat, is a tourist because they do not wear that hat in Panama. There is a hat for Panama, but it's more of like a farmer's hat, so you don't really
Mm.
see that much in the city either. So if you see people wearing that Panama hat, it is a tourist because they don't wear that in Panama.
I like the evolution of it with the Adidas bucket hat. I love that
Yeah,
Adidas bucket hat. I used to
yeah,
rock that all the time.
yeah,
But you learned a little bit of history of the creation of the Panama Canal.
yeah. A lot of people died making
Well,
that.
yeah,
Let me tell you, malaria was kicking people ass. It was
not
kicking people.
malaria.
It was malaria and what else? It was being passed around by the mosquitoes because
Mhm.
mosquitoes are it's the jungle.
Right.
It is the jungle. And before they realized that it was the mosquitoes and sprayed a bunch of pesticide and then people could start living again. But
He said,
uh
"Wait a minute, time out. People could start living again."
people could start living again. Uh, um, there was a lot of inequity, of course, like, American workers and white workers were paid in gold and other people were paid in silver.
Mhm.
Uh, France actually had it first. They worked on it for about 30 years, couldn't figure it out.
Sounds
Uh,
about right.
US bought the rights to it, figured it out, and had it up and running in 10 years. So,
Yeah, once again, that sounds about right.
yeah, we came up with the lock system because you can't dig out the canal because it's volcanic rock under there. It's too hard.
Mm,
So we built a system where a ship enters a lock, it fills with water, raises the ship up 27 feet, it moves to a second lock, and it keeps raising up until it
mm,
reaches the height of the lake.
mm.
There's a man-made lake, it crosses the lake, that's the canal, and then it's lowered again in 3 locks, and it goes out to sea, and that's it. That's the whole
Wow,
process.
that's dope.
And you just see all the ships lined up waiting for their turn to get through, and it costs the toll, the tax, what they have to pay to go through, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I would
But it
imagine.
would cost 10 times that to go around South America. So,
I wonder
they
how much
rather pay
cocaine and heroin is passing through that canal right now.
Lord knows. Yeah, Colombia's was right there.
Right. Let's get to your party
Yeah.
because I have to say, it was one of the greatest parties that I've ever been to.
It
I
really turned out well. I was really nervous because I was mixing a lot of people, particularly family. I
yeah,
had some
yeah.
cousins come. We had cousins come in, and they were cousins from our maternal grandfather's side, maternal grandmother's side, paternal grandfather's side. Like
It's
they
a
were.
mixture of everybody.
It was a
Yeah.
mixture of everybody. It was a mix of my friends. It was just a mix of people, and so it was people I didn't know, and so I was also like, I don't know how that's gonna go, So I just said, as long as I have enough food and alcohol, and we can keep the party going. But yeah, it turned out really well. I'm very satisfied with how it went.
Yeah, there was definitely enough food and alcohol. It was so much food and alcohol that there was some left over, and I
Yeah.
drank a lot.
Then people took to go plates. People came back for a shout out to Star. I'm gonna say her name. Shout out to Star, who was my chef for the night and who cooked everything for us. And people made, to go plates and extra plates, and we still had a bunch of food left. So I was really nervous we wouldn't have enough food, but we did. We were
I
good.
know you was nervous. It was Instacart made a killing off of
Yeah,
off of you
for
guys.
sure. For sure.
Instacart and the liquor store made a killing. And
Kill it.
shout out to our brother.
Yeah.
We don't give him enough credit
Mhm.
for the work that he will do in support and love for us.
Yes.
That man was up until almost 4 o'clock in the morning, staying in your deck. Cause I said,
Yeah.
hey man, look, if it's about picking something up and moving it around, I got you covered.
Right.
But all this manual labor stuff, putting stuff together, cleaning like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
do that. But if
Yeah.
you need me to lift an air conditioner and put it in the window, I got you.
Right.
I got
Right.
you.
He
If you
cleared out he cleared out the brush in my backyard, washed my deck, restained it.
hold on now. Hold on. I washed the deck. Give me my credit too.
I
I watched.
helped wash the deck also.
Yeah, okay. With
I wiped down all the furniture and everything. He
Oh, okay.
cleaned all the
But he did the
cushions and all of
majority of the
that.
work.
He
He
did the
did the majority.
majority of the
Yeah.
work, and the deck looked fantastic. So,
The
yes,
deck
definitely
was
shout
a
out to him.
the deck was a vibe. The yard was a vibe because
Yeah.
that man was out there mowing the lawn and he was up early in the morning because I was in the gym working out. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden he comes through the back door sweating and getting some water. And I was like, man, you all right? You need some help? He's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's just a whole bunch of logs I got to move. I was like, logs?
He was moving logs. Yes. So definitely shout out to him. It was great to have that extra space for people to go, especially if they want to smoke or whatever, you can go. And
Mm,
we had a nice Uno game out there with a lot of the youths were out there.
a lot of the use. A
Yeah.
lot of the use.
And everybody had a good time. Like it's always like a sigh of relief the next day when people are like, "No, I had fun." I'm like, "Okay, great. Thank God." Like, because y'all don't know how I agonize about these things for weeks.
I told you, I was
Yeah.
like, look, it's your party. Only thing that matters is you have fun. Everybody gonna get in line because you had me on bouncer duty,
Ye
and I was like, hey, look, I got you, sis. Don't worry about everything. Gonna get it going. And then the karaoke was a nice touch.
Yes, I really am happy that that went as more people started to go, other people got their confidence up and decided to
Mhm.
go, so karaoke went great. Our brother sang "Party All the Time," which I think was the highlight for me. That was the highlight
Yeah,
because he
that was the
really
highlight.
put his all into it, and
He
that was
put
the highlight.
Yeah.
So,
We could never put that video out there. He will never let us do it. But there's a video of him singing "Party All the Time." He hit all the high notes, and
yes,
it was fantastic. He was
it was
dancing and
fantastic.
grooving. It was just a good
Yeah.
time.
Everybody came and was vibing and was on a good, wavelength and just came to chill and vibe out. And that's kind of how I want my house to be. And like gatherings at my house is just, no, we chill and vibe out. Like you
Mhm.
don't have to, you don't have to do too much.
Well, the
You know,
layout of your house is very much set up for that.
yeah.
It's
It's
weird because
definitely set up for entertaining. Yeah.
weird isn't the right word, but it's fascinating how
Mhm.
you and mom have the homes where it just feels real comfortable. I hate going to people's houses.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate staying at people's houses. I
Yeah.
hate sleeping in other people's beds. I hate using other people's bathrooms. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it.
Yeah.
I told everybody on the episode Tuesday, I was genuinely sad to leave on Monday. I was like, I don't want to leave. I'm
Yeah.
having a good time.
We had
And
a
it's
good time.
because you and mom, I don't know, it's something about both of y'all. Y'all just develop comfort. And
Yeah.
it's just like, come on in and have a good time because people showing up will just pop up at your place
People
and
do
just be
pop up
like,
at my place.
just
Yes.
pop up at your place, be like, hey, I'm coming to hang out. When I
Yeah.
walked in on Sunday, I'm like, everybody, did y'all leave? Because
Right,
some
because
people's
everybody's still
back
there. Yeah,
was
everybody's
back and
still there.
they
Yeah.
just sleeping, just laying on the couch. It's like
Yeah,
everybody just gonna take a nap on the couch and just vibe out, huh?
yeah, and that's why I got that big ass sectional,
Yeah, it is
'cause it's got
big.
room for everybody. I like yeah, my house is, not that any of y'all will ever know, but that
Some people might know. There's
I
people that was there that are watching and listening to the show, so they
right.
know,
So it's
but
a
not the audience at large. I ain't gonna be
right.
invited.
Right, but when you walk in, it's completely open, the floor plan is completely open, so when you first walk in is the kitchen, and then off to your right is the dining area, off to your left is the living room, like, it's all open, so no matter where you stand, you can see everything going on in the entire area, so that's the thing I like the most because I can stand right in the kitchen at the island and see everybody and make sure everybody's good, and that's
Mhm.
pretty much where I stayed for
Oh,
most of the time, I was over
yeah,
there by the island watching,
yeah.
making sure everybody was good, so and then it just flows right out onto the balcony because that door is right there and it just flows
Mhm.
everything just flowed. The mosquitoes weren't biting.
No, because our brother, once again, was on it with the mosquitoes.
Yeah. Had the
Now
citronella candles, everything. Well, I had the yard spray, but, like, had the citronella like, it was it was a good night, like, it was fun. Everybody I got a lot of people reached out to me afterwards, like, "I had a really great time. I had a great time. I'm glad." And I'm just like, "Oh, I'm so glad," because I agonize about these things, y'all. Don't look for
our
another one of those from me for a very long time, but yes.
our brother's gonna kill me right now for what I'm about to say.
Then don't say
He's
it.
going no, but he knows he's right because he knows it. A wrong turn, hate to see our brother coming. That man, when I was out with adventures with him to go pick up stuff,
Yeah.
um, I'm like, "You got the GPS right there. How you keep missing the turn? Oh, snap,
Yeah.
I got a U-turn right here." He joked on me because I was holding on to the little thing where you hang stuff up.
Yeah.
I
What
grab it
is
as
that
a
called? I
it's
don't even it's
I
just a
don't know.
hanger. A
It's
little
just a
hanger
hanger.
thing over the door. Yeah.
He was like, "What you got your arm up there for?" Because I was like, "I'm fighting for my life over here." Because we're fighting for my life over here. And
Yeah.
then we was at the Home Depot And granted, he kicked out a lot of money, especially for landscaping your house.
Yeah.
And when we got there, he was like, "Hey man, you gonna help out with some of this stuff, huh?" Right? And I was like, "Huh?" And he was like, "Here, you gonna help out? Here, take this stuff right here in this cart, and you go pay for that." I was like, "All right, man, I can pay for it." Because I was like, "Look, you paying all this money to
Yeah.
do all the landscaping in the house, and you doing all the manual labor. That's the least I could do is buy some of the equipment because I ain't gonna
Yeah.
help use the equipment, but I'll,
Yeah.
I'll at least that'll be my contribution."
Right. If you need me to wipe down some furniture, I can do that.
Right.
But as far as staining things, I'm like, I can't do all
Yeah.
that. I'm not
And
gonna
them
do all that.
logs, like, I told him he should have asked me to help with them logs. He said, "Man, them logs like 50 all the way up to 80 pounds." Now I don't think they were that heavy, but
It might
they
have
was probably
been.
they were
That
probably
tree
pretty
that
heavy.
fell on the house was pretty big.
Yeah,
If
the
y'all are
tree that fell on the
wondering,
house.
yes, that tree is still in my backyard. Somebody has been paid to remove the tree, but that tree is still in my backyard. So do
When
with
they gonna
that
remove it?
what you will. I don't know.
Okay. Well, on that note,
Yeah.
let's move on
Yeah.
because Madam VP Kamala Harris did the interview. Finally, that's what
Mhm.
people are saying. Finally, she did an interview. I didn't really care if she did an interview or not. I already know what she stands for. She's been pretty clear and obvious about that. But
Right.
people wanted to hear what she had to say, and we're going to talk about that next. Kamala Harris recently participated in an interview on CNN where she discussed various topics, including her thoughts on inflation, economic policy, and the Biden administration's achievements. She emphasized the importance of focusing on issues that impact everyday Americans and highlighted efforts to combat rising prices. I'm going to get into some of my takeaways, Jay, but you wanted to specifically talk about this, so I'm going to give you the floor.
Yeah. So you had said, before the break, finally she did an interview. And I don't understand everybody's like weird fixation why she hadn't done an interview.
Hold on, I said
Excuse
that's what
me.
people were saying.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
what
say
I'm
I cared.
no,
Yeah, I
no,
didn't
no.
care.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I don't know why. Like, do y'all know the timeline that this woman is on? And also, she didn't really know this was coming.
No, she did not.
She did not know this was coming. He called her on Sunday before he tweeted it out and told her what he was gonna do. And she just was like, "Are you sure?" Like, she didn't know this was coming. And she has to build a team. She
Mhm,
had to vet and pick a vice president. She had to
mhm.
prepare for the DNC. Like, she didn't have no time for no interview. Let her get through the DNC. She said, well, let me get through the DNC. I'll do an interview. And that's exactly what she did. So, like,
Mhm.
everybody, first of all, calm down.
Right.
Secondly, the juxtaposition of her interview against, just any recent piece of footage of Trump talking. Any, doesn't matter from what, doesn't matter. It was just him rambling about bacon and wind.
Wait a
And
minute, what? He was rambling about bacon and when?
yes, I think I don't even know what the question was about, but the man just, I don't think he knows what fracking is.
We'll
I'm
get into that later. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't.
Mhm.
Um, but just the juxtaposition, I don't know how this is a choice. You
Well,
had someone
mm,
who was Kamala, to me, I saw it written that she presented as comfortable and in command. And I think that that's perfectly sums up how she appeared in that interview. I thought you'll go over some takeaways, but I thought her answers to things were right on. I mean, there's some stuff that can be cleaned up, but overall, I thought it was a great interview. I wish we got a little bit more from Tim Walz, but he really did his job, and that was to be there as a support. And that is who the vice president is. He is a support, or currently she is a support, because of course,
because currently she's the
uh,
vice president.
yes,
She's Madam
Kamala
VP
Harris
right now.
is Madam
Yeah.
VP right now. So I thought it was right on, and you'll go over your takeaways. I I think we're pretty much aligned in some of the same things that we took away from it. But yeah, I thought it went well. I thought it went really well.
I thought it went well too. Some of my takeaways was in continuation of the convention, she continues to look presidential.
Yeah,
That's the
she was in
main thing.
command.
Yeah, that's what I said, like, in my little notes, that she wasn't defensive in this interview, and she looked confident and in command.
Yeah.
And you we're so accustomed now to Trump and him constantly being on defense anytime he's in an interview
Mhm.
that sometimes we forget what presidents are supposed to look like.
Right.
Confidence is not saying I'm a confident person.
Right.
Confidence is exuding. You're showing it.
Yes.
It oozes from you. You don't have to say I'm confident
Yeah.
because you just are. And her just her presence in both her speech at the convention, because we watched it together, and then this interview, she looks presidential.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. She needs to tighten up some of her positions, because she's kind of gone back and forth, and you brought up specifically fracking. So for those people out there that are just like, yeah, drill, baby, drill, you don't know what you're talking about. So let me explain to you what fracking is. Fracking, short for hydraulic fracturing, is a technique used to extract natural gas and oil from deep underground rock formations. Fracking is significantly increased the availability of natural gas and oil, but is also controversial due to its environmental impact. These things, like groundwater contamination and increased seismic activity and large amount of water, is required in this process. So for some people, they're like, so what if a large amount of water is required in this process? Well, California is constantly in a drought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Constantly in a drought. And, it was like, so what if there's environmental impacts? Groundwater contaminated, how does that affect me? Well, just think of what was it? There's a city in Mississippi that had contaminated water, and then Flint, Michigan, right? Like, if you don't have good drinking water, good luck. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe some people out there want to live on Diet and cherry Cokes. Now, cherry Coke is delicious, but I don't want that to be.
It's a good Coke.
Look, it's the best Coke.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live off of that. I would like some water. Water keeps your skin clear.
Yeah, it does.
Water is good for your body, because your body is mostly water.
Yeah, you need it. Your body is mostly water, and you need it.
So
it's for all you people out there that don't drink water. Drink your water.
Yeah, I get my water from soda and stuff like that.
Lips just be dry and cracked, sticking to your teeth. Drink some water.
Lips be sticking to your teeth. Now that's gross.
Well, that's dry. Your mouth is dry.
You could tell from the interview that she's middle of the road.
Yes.
She's not all the way to the left, which is what a lot of people are accusing her of being. She's not. She's middle of the road. And this is clear from the fact that she was willing to appoint a Republican to the cabinet, which isn't some new thing. This has happened before.
Yes.
Where Republican presidents and Democratic presidents have put people from the opposite party in positions in the cabinet. This is not rare.
It's usually transportation secretary or something. Like
well,
but they're there. The point is
knock
they're
Pete.
there.
Pete is doing a hell of a job. Don't knock Pete.
Oh, never.
Okay.
I am a Pete Buttigieg stan. Okay.
Me too.
Period. If you ask that man a question, you gonna get an answer.
Right.
Like, he is whip smart and an amazing salesman for the party platform. Like, but that's also another takeaway that I got from her interview, that she's a good salesman of the party platform, and in a lot of ways better than Biden was for his own, especially like his own economic plan, or the things that he's done for the country economically and the things that she wants to do moving forward. She's a great spokesperson for the platform.
I don't think that was ever Joe's strong suit, even when he was vice president. I don't ever
He's a
think that
he's
he's
a
a great
doer. Like, he
yeah,
just gets out
yeah.
there and he does the job. You're not gonna hear him bragging about it.
Mm,
He should. You have to, because
yeah.
otherwise we don't know. We just
Yeah.
see, we're just living our day-to-day lives like we don't know. So you gotta toot your own horn when you're the president of the United States. And I think she does a good job of that.
She also talked about extending the $6,000 child tax credit to families for the first year of a child's life, and
Awesome.
$25,000 for first-time home buyers tax credit. Maybe I might be a first-time home buyer within the next couple of years if these housing prices come down. And that's another
Yeah.
thing that she was talking about doing, was bringing down the housing costs, attacking these private companies that are buying up homes and rental properties and skyrocketing the rent prices. This is what's actually happening, ladies and gentlemen. I need you guys, before you talk about prices are rising and it's all Joe Biden's fault. No, these were the policies that were implemented during the Trump administration that gave
Mhm.
access to private companies to skirt some of these rules and push the buck onto
Yeah.
you, the human being. I don't know why people seem to think that by giving corporations tax cuts that somehow this is going to affect the people. No, it's not. That's called trickle-down economics. It's called
Mhm.
Reaganomics. It did not work.
It
It
didn't work.
created a larger wealthy class
Mhm.
and a larger poor class and decreased the middle class,
Yeah.
which is
It
what we're all
just
kind of.
extended the wealth gap.
Yep. And then she talked about she didn't take the race bait.
No. And I
Mhm.
thought it was perfect. And that
Mhm.
was one of my key moments, was when, oh Lord, who was the interviewer?
Dana Bash.
Yeah, when Dana Bash asked her, didn't ask her a question. She just said, "He's attacked you again for your
Well, she
race."
said care to comment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the same old song and dance.
Yeah.
And that's it, and move on, because what you don't wanna do, and is what Hillary did with the basket of deplorables and all of that, is engage him in that sparring match over identity politics and things like that. You don't wanna
Mhm.
engage him in that, because that's that's his only fuel. Like, that's the only ammunition that he has. And so if you engage him in it, he's got more in the chamber. He could come at you with some racist, sexist stuff. He's
Yeah, I
got it.
think I think the only person that would if I was running for president, I
Mhm.
would definitely, and that's just me, because I have a lot of bullets in the chamber to attack him. I would just simply be on CNN and be like, "Oh, he's racist." That's what I would do. Now, would it
Yeah,
turn some people off? Yes. But I
yeah,
would be like, "Oh, he's a racist, and here are the examples why." And if you look at these examples and you're like, "Well, I don't think that's racist," I think that you need to take a look in the mirror.
mhm,
And people would be like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to vote for Bruce for president. He's
right.
making me be introspective." Yeah,
No,
that's called.
she just said, I'm not gonna dignify it with a response." And
She
that
didn't
is
even
the
do that.
perfect.
She looked at her with the little auntie vibes and was like, "Next question."
Right. She looked at her like, "Girl, please.
Right?
Please. Okay. Next question. We're not even gonna get into all that. Oh, I just turned black. Come on now."
Right. Like, because if anybody's been paying attention to social media, these video clips is coming up when she gave her recipe for greens, how she make
Yes.
her greens.
With the
I was
bacon.
like, right. I was like, Madam Harris, can I please come to Sunday dinner? Because that's what
Okay.
she was probably when Joey Beans called her, she was probably in the kitchen finishing up them greens.
She s- she said she was doing a puzzle with her nieces.
Okay, well, I bet you that chicken was being cooked. Remember
Oh,
when she
you
was
know
cooking
that.
the
Yeah.
chicken?
Oh yeah,
Chi-
that chicken looked good. She was
she-
basting it and all kind of,
right. Yeah,
and
look.
then saved the juices. It was making a little gray. I was like, oh.
Also, I'm seeing too many people get excited on the internet, social media, people that I'm talking to. I'm seeing too many people get excited. They need to
I'm
they need
excited
to
about
take
what?
getting excited about Kamala. Like they need to
That's
take a step back.
no,
No, no,
no.
no, no. Look, people seem to forget 2016. We done been here before.
Mhm.
Take a step back realize that there's work that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited because 2016 was just 8 years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, but she's not Hillary Clinton, who was
had a little, had a little, but her nose was in the air. Like she thought she had that in the bag.
well, Hillary was an unpopular. She was unpopular. I like it. No, I mean she's getting. I want people to maintain the excitement because we need to keep up the momentum and continue to push forward while she continues to. I mean, she's still in the process, in my mind, of defining what her presidency is going to be. Like all of this happened to sis a month ago.
It was. It was the end of July. It was like the last week of July.
Yeah. So it's like she's still in the process of defining who she is, and not defining who she is. She was pretty clear. My values haven't changed. That's not going to be enough, I think, for like
Jermaine Dupri.
Oh,
you ain't seen him coming out? It was like, I don't know what she's about, and this and that.
Yeah,
and being attacked on social media.
Here's my problem with things like that.
You don't know. Let's talk about it, black man.
Yes, let's specifically talk about it. First of
put
all, y'all. Oh my God, sit down. I'm gonna hold your hands. Okay. The Democratic Congress passed the stimulus bill. You received a check under Trump from the Democratic Congress, not from Trump. Trump is a businessman. Why would he give away free money?
He was fighting that, as a matter of fact.
He was fighting it.
Yeah.
You also, if you remember correctly, received a second stimulus under Joe Biden. Again, Democratic Congress. Okay? Trump didn't give y'all that money. He ain't do it, baby.
And it wasn't life-changing. It was not life-changing money.
It was $1,200.
It's good money. It's good money.
Which is good money. But it was also 4 years ago.
It really was.
Like,
it really was.
You gotta be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. Are you that cheap? And I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna hold your hand while I walk you through this. Are you that cheap? And I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm really not. I'm not gonna tell you who to vote for. And I'm not the kind of person that be like, oh, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she's black. That's not why I'm voting for her. I'm voting for her because of who she is, what she stands for, and don't come on the internet with a platform, Jermaine, talking about I don't know who she is, when she got a full ass website where you can go and read about what her platform is. I'm sure it's Kamala.com or something. I don't know. But she got a full
he was on the internet. He was on the internet to post his little video.
Right. So if you
open the other app, it's called Google.
It's called Google.
Right.
And if you get on there and be like, I don't know who she is. Okay, then the next statement is, so I figured it out. So I went and read up on her and here, bop, 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 bop. Don't be ignorant. And I'm calling Jermaine Dupri ignorant. I don't care. He's in Atlanta.
He was ignorant because, first of all, he looked the way he do. Well, he was ignorant because, first of all, he looked the way he do and then cheated on Janet Jackson. Like, hey, don't get me wrong. I didn't cheat on a lot of women in my life. I didn't cheat on a lot of women in my life. But I ain't never had no woman look like Janet Jackson. And if I did, I ain't cheating on her. Not unless I'm cheating on her with Eva Mendes, or Holly Berry.
But you guys are getting to see inner ramblings of a dreamer.
I said, if I could, I haven't.
Dreamer.
But it's something about these black men. And then I was watching CNN, and a Republican strategist, black man, broke it down and was just like, look, it seems like the Democratic Party has become more feminist in its agenda, and there's some truth to that. A lot of the major topics that are being talked about as far as women's reproductive rights are dominating
Yes.
the Democratic Party because
But
it should.
and
Because it
also,
should.
whose fault is that? The only reason that we have to talk so much about women's reproductive health and rights to bodily autonomy is because Republicans keep trying to make this issue a political one.
Right. And they said there was really no platform for men of color and women of color, Black, Latino,
Mhm,
Indian, all women of color have surpassed men of color as far as education,
mhm.
uh, income, things like that. Women of color out here getting it, getting it.
Degrees and LLCs, but again,
Degrees
whose
in
fault is
LLCs.
that?
It's nobody's fault,
But
you
right,
know.
so it's like, why are you penalizing?
They're not. You're talking about the insecurity of men, and that's
Yeah,
a psychology question that that we don't have enough time to talk about.
but
Right?
we are talking
You've been
about the
taught.
future
You've been
of this country.
Yeah, but you've been taught. I'm First of all, before we get into this conversation, because we had some other stuff to talk about.
Mhm,
Let me first clarify what my point is
okay,
before I start talking.
okay.
Okay, because I got to make this clear. I don't agree with these type of men.
Yeah, I mean,
I do
obviously.
not.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes,
I don't agree with some of these statements that I'm about to make. I'm just telling you what they think.
yes,
This is not me, what they think.
yeah,
Okay. Men are taught from birth in order to be a man, be a provider, be strong.
mhm,
It's really tough to be a provider and be strong when the woman is the provider. And also, the strength of a people of color household has always been the mother, the grandmother,
mhm,
the woman in the household. She's the one actually taking care of the day to day. The men just go to work
mhm,
and come home.
mhm,
Women go to work, come home, and then take care of the household.
mhm.
And if a man is evolved, then he helps in those duties.
Yeah,
But the majority of the time, generally speaking, because there are some situations that's not how it is in my household. I'm talking in general.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
These are the dynamics. So if men are now like, yo, what is my role in this? Because my woman makes the last girl the second to last woman, excuse me,
mhm,
that I dated made double what I made.
yeah.
I didn't have no type of insecurity about it. Matter of fact, I thought I hit the lick. I was like, "Can you find smart and make money?" you know,
Right.
if she could only control her temper, things would have been all right.
But that
Look,
should
I'm
but
giving you a shout out. Look,
yeah.
you was having your issues, whatever. We talked about it. We cool now. But
Right,
no, but I'm secure in myself. A lot of
right.
these men are insecure. They
Yeah.
think their worth is tied up in what they can bring to the table. And there's a lot of women out there co-signing it.
Yes.
So when they're not, they're like, well, what about me? So
Yeah.
and Trump is right there. He's all fake bravado and man.
Mhm.
He's all that's what men look. I don't like him and his policies.
Yeah.
I don't like him and his policies. But would younger Bruce hang out with him? Absolutely. Because he's funny, he's about that women, and he's about money, which is
And
all this
and
was
he's a
about.
sex offender. Like,
Well,
it's
a
not
lot of
great.
men were sex offenders and groping, and like we grew up in the era of the 90s and the 2000s. So a lot of men are looking at Trump and be like, so I groped a little bit. Wasn't nothing wrong with that back in the day.
Yes, it
I
was.
know, uh, I know that
Yeah.
once again, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
these are
These are
not
not his personal feelings.
I'm just telling you what these cavemen are thinking.
Yeah.
I have evolved. I talked
Yeah.
about that on the last show. I've evolved, but some of these cavemen is just like, hey, I don't understand what the big deal is. There does need to be a reach out to men of color, just like where Hillary did not reach out to those people on the flyover states.
Mhm.
She seemed like an elitist.
Yeah.
Kamala has made sure to reach those people
Yeah.
because Tim Walz is one of them, right?
Right.
So there's that. But also there's some men of color out here that are just like, yo, what about me? I'm not saying that they're right. I'm just saying that they're out there. And that's what scares me because I'm
Yeah.
seeing it a lot on social media. I don't know what the polls say. I'm seeing it a lot on social media.
I mean,
So that's
well,
giving me,
we've
that's the
seen
reason
it
why I said,
at every election where he's on the ticket. Now, you usually have about 97, 98% of Black women voting against Trump. And it's something like 87 to 92% or something of Black men, right? Like there's always been that like little margin of error in there of about 10 to 20% of Black men that voted for Trump.
mhm.
Ain't nothing we can do for them brothers. I mean, listen, I don't know how you could look at that man and just as a human being, him as a human being, just remove the fact that him as a politician, which he's not, but like just him as a human being and his character and his behavior and his actions of his entire life.
Mhm.
Um, and think that in any way this man has the best interests of Black men. And when I watch people like Byron Donalds
Oh, you
bend
mean
over
him?
backwards.
You know, when Trump in the rally a couple of days ago said he's one of the good ones.
Yeah.
You
He's
know,
one of
he's
the
smart.
he's the smart one. Yeah, he's one
Yeah,
of the good ones. Like,
that's
watch that
not
man
coding.
watch
That's
that
not coding
man
anymore.
contort himself into a pretzel to walk back them Jim Crow comments that he made about Black folks. Like just watching the lengths y'all will go to sacrifice your pride and dignity
Yeah,
to
well,
support somebody who is not worth that
yeah.
is astounding to me. But I am uplifted by the momentum that she's getting across demographics.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
So
be
the
cautious.
yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't know that this is gonna be a landslide. I mean, obviously, it's gonna be a tight race, and it's not gonna end. They're gonna contest things. They're gonna, you know, Trump is not gonna go softly into that good night. Like
No,
it
because this
is,
would be it. If he
yeah,
loses this is it.
yeah, because New York re-indicted him. No,
I'm
the
not talking
justice.
about that. I'm
Oh,
not talking about his legal issues. My
mhm,
man is gonna be like what 86 the
yeah,
next time.
yeah.
Like, and I don't care what nobody say. He don't look healthy.
No. He's falling asleep at his own trials. Like this
Right.
come on now. This man is and recently he's just seemed very lethargic and apathetic and not his normal self.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's
Well, we're
selling
gonna get into him in the
hogs or
next
something
segment.
now. I don't know.
We're gonna get into something that he just did recently in the next segment.
Mm,
But this is about Kamala. And I am look, she is refreshing
yeah.
and positive, but I'm not getting my hopes up. I'm Black in America, baby. I don't never get my hopes up.
I
I,
mean, we did before and we had
no, I
two
no.
terms of
You did. I did not. I
no.
didn't believe it the first time, and I was like, "They're about to take it away the second time." I look. That's just who I am. I don't
All
never believe good
right.
things gonna happen.
All right.
I'm.
Well, that's fair.
Hold on. Let me rephrase that. I do believe good things will happen to other people. I just don't see that it happening to me. I didn't see that we were gonna get a male Black president in my lifetime because
Yeah.
it was only 40 years from the Civil Rights and the Voting Rights Act. I
Yeah.
was like, there's no way in hell, but it
Yeah.
happened. But
Yeah.
it took a remarkable, it took a unicorn. It's a once, it's a
Yeah.
shooting star. Somebody like that doesn't come often. It's one every generation. So it took something like that. And is Kamala that? I don't know.
I don't know, but
I don't know.
I'm energized by her campaign. I absolutely love Kamala HQ on
Yeah, me
social
too.
media platforms.
Mhm.
They are killing Trump and Vance. And JD Vance, boy, pull him off the trail. Pull him off the trail. You don't even see him and Trump together anymore. Last thing Trump said about him was the vice president doesn't really matter. So I definitely think he's been regretting this choice. JD Vance has just dropped the ball on just the softest,
man be fumbling.
Softest pitches. Like, seriously, underhanded, a softball, not a baseball, a softball. He can't even answer what makes him happy.
Look, he be fumbling like Mike Epps in the movie The Program. I knew that was going to go over your head. That's okay. That's okay, because we're going to get into Trump and something that he did next. So I said we were going to talk about Trump, Jay. So let's talk about it. There was a recent incident at the Arlington National Cemetery that involved former President Donald Trump and his campaign staff during a visit at the cemetery to honor the 13 U.S. service members that were killed in the Abbey Gate bombing in Afghanistan. There was a confrontation between Trump's staff and cemetery officials. This is Arlington Cemetery. This is the cemetery where those that have served our country are buried.
Yes.
This is sacred ground. I am literally 2 miles from Arlington Cemetery. It is a big deal. So for those people who are not close to this area, don't understand it, this is a huge deal, okay? Reports indicate that Trump's team was attempting to take photographs and videos in Section 60, where political activities are prohibited. When a cemetery official tried to enforce this rule, they were allegedly pushed aside by Trump's staff. This incident has sparked significant controversy, and Vice President Kamala Harris condemned Trump's actions as disrespectful to the sacred grounds. JD Vance came out saying, "Oh, it's just the media making a big deal out of nothing." This is all I'm going to say about this. Not only is it forbidden in this area to take photographs and videos.
Federal law.
This is a solemn type of situation, and he's given a thumbs up picture.
It was so weird and awkward.
People are going to say, well, the family invited him, and it was fine for him to be there. It's the photo ops. And it's the saying that it's Biden's fault. When here's the truth. Trump, after he lost the election, was negotiating with the Taliban and negotiated this deal to do a 100% withdrawal at a certain time period out of Afghanistan. It just so happens that this deal that he made, he wasn't going to be president when the deal was finally executed. Biden's hands were tied because there was a deal that was made, just like Jimmy Carter having to give back the Panama Canal because of a treaty. Former presidents make deals with other countries. You now take over, you have to honor that deal. Was it poorly executed? It's poorly executed from all sides. But Trump negotiated this deal. This is on Trump's hands as well. And him using this as a political ploy to try and say that this was Biden's fault. Him disrespecting the military yet again, several times, over and over and over again, where he disrespects service members.
Within the last month.
The military at large, military honors.
Yeah.
Just completely disrespected for all those people. And I'm speaking directly to people that are listening to this podcast that I know some of you guys personally. For all you people that were so up in arms and decided that they weren't going to watch the NFL because Colin Kaepernick took a knee to bring about the issue of police brutality against Black folks. And you guys made it about disrespecting the military when he had spoken to somebody that was in the military, and that person in the military said, this is a way not to disrespect the military. Do the knee. For all you people that are so up in arms about that, and decided that you weren't going to watch the NFL because somebody took a knee to protest police brutality. Why the hell aren't y'all calling this man to task for the constant disrespect to the military? Y'all are all for the military, right? That's what you say. This man is constantly disrespecting the military. And this was another prime example of him disrespecting the military. And this isn't a media thing. This isn't J.D. Vance when he says, oh, this is all the media bringing this up. No. This is what he did.
Mhm.
These are what the rules were. This is black and white. There's no shades of gray in this at all. So if you're making concessions, if you're making excuses, that's on you. You're a hypocrite. And you got to answer for that. Whenever their time comes and you had to meet your maker and ask and answer for the things that you've done in life, you're going to have to answer for the fact that you say one thing and do another. That's my rant on this.
Yeah. I mean, you said it all. There
I did
was,
say it all.
I saw a little snippet of an interview where he tried to blame it on the Harris campaign, that videos and everything were taken. And the reporter obviously pushed back and said they were posted on your campaign website. It was your photos and videos. It was you doing it. Don't try to pass the like somebody else. It's the administration. Like, it's so sad and it's so disgusting. This man has no respect for the men and the women who have served this country, who continue to serve this country, who have died serving this country, and upholding our liberty and freedom. And I think it could not have been said any better than when Vice President Harris said that Trump is, quote, unable to comprehend anything other than service to himself.
Mm-hmm. You nailed that one. I haven't done enough research on it, but there are rumors that this was all a big ploy to say that this was kind of like a celebration of the 13 members of our military that fell that day, and to purposely play it off as that and say that Kamala and Biden aren't there and all this backfired. I haven't completely fact checked that. That's the reason why I'm not going into depth about it.
I believe J.D. Vance did say, well, where was Kamala Harris? First of all, it wasn't an event.
Yeah, it wasn't an event. It wasn't a ceremony.
You were asked to come by one of the families or a couple of, I don't know, but it wasn't.
Families.
Yeah, it wasn't an event. So, first of all, knock it off. Well, second of all, again, JD, baby, your opponent's Tim Walz.
His opponent is also Kamala.
I don't. But you see, he don't have no smoke for Tim. Where's the smoke?
Well, he tried with the military record, but that just kind of died. That lasted for a couple.
Because again, sir, you act like you was out there on the front lines. You were in communications office.
Yeah, he wasn't Rambo. So I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. He's a scammer. They're scammers.
Yes.
They're scammers.
Yeah.
But as a detour, speaking of scammers.
Oh boy.
You said you had no idea about this.
I did not hear about this.
There was a case, glitch, kind of not glitch. It still hasn't been confirmed yet. Scam that I found out literally this morning.
Okay.
So recently there have been widespread rumors about a supposed glitch at Chase Bank that allegedly allowed people to withdraw large sums of money from the ATMs without authorization. This rumor quickly spread on social media, leading to a frenzy of people attempting to exploit the glitch. However, it turns out the so-called glitch is actually a scam. Scammers have been promoting the idea of a bank glitch to lure people into depositing fake checks, which would then allow them to withdraw cash before the bank detects the fraud, and also apply for large loans. Others have attempted to exploit the system by applying for substantial loans without the necessary backing. Chase Bank has since taken measures to rectify the situation, placing holds on accounts involved in these fraudulent activities. Now, on social media today, there was a brother that showed his Chase account. Now, I don't know if it's true. I just found this story funny because stuff like this does happen in real life. But this brother showed his Chase bank balance and the negative $31,000.
Mm,
Now, this is a thing. There are scammers because there were scams
yes.
about DoorDash, where
Yeah.
DoorDash was messing up. And there was a scam not too long ago where people were withdrawing money from a particular bank. I can't remember the bank, from a particular bank, because the bank wasn't recognizing that the money was coming out of people's accounts
Hmm.
and they were withdrawing a whole bunch of cash. But then people found out the bank is going to get that money back by putting your account in a negative hole. And all these scammers, I just thought it was funny because all these scammers working so hard
Yeah.
to get this money when they could get a job.
Yeah, but scamming pays. Listen, I come from the scam. I live in the scamming capital. Okay, I feel
That's
like
what I hear.
Atlanta is the scammer capital. Every nice condo or apartment building you go into, you seeing people like, "Hey, how you live here," and it's because they scam. So I see it every day. My thing is, man, just put your money in your mattress. Like, seriously, because it's like you can't trust nothing these days. You get these spam texts and emails and all kind of stuff. They got the thing where your card reader, they put a fake one over it and scans your card and your chip, and you think you safe, you tap it and nothing. I don't know. It's a lot, and I'm like, look, the scammers is scamming. So just if something seems like it's too good to be true, it is. Use some discernment. That's gonna be our word for 2024. Is
Discernment,
discernment.
not demure.
No, not demure. That's the word of the summer, but but for 2024, it's gotta be discernment. Like common sense is chasing you, but you are faster. So I really I need y'all to use some discernment out here and
So
don't get caught up on catch a case.
well, what's another scam, and this scam preys on nice men like myself,
Mm-hmm.
where women,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes teenage girls, will come up to you and say, "Hey, I lost my phone, or my phone died. I really need to call my mom
Mm-hmm.
or my dad or somebody to come get me. Can I use your phone?" Typically, I'd be like, yeah, go ahead and use my phone. But when they have your phone now, they now have access to your Apple Pay and your
Mm-hmm.
Cash App.
Mm-hmm.
And what a lot of people are like, don't do that because they are Cash App and Apple paying themselves
Yes.
money, and you can't get that back. Once you send it, it's gone.
Don't ask me to use my phone.
Yeah,
My
you can't use
phone
my
is
phone.
a little pocket computer with all of my life in it.
Yes.
There's absolutely no way I'm handing my phone over to a stranger. I'm sorry. I wish they brought payphones back because I don't know what to tell you. You should have charged your phone. I can lend you my charger. That's the
Right. Okay.
that's the best I can do for you is lend you a charger, but you better learn how to Morse code.
You know what
Smoke
I will
signal.
do? I will be like, all right, this is how I catch the scammers, because this has happened to me.
Mhm.
I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna give you my phone, but I could put them on speakerphone. I'll dial the number for you and put them on speakerphone if you need to. No,
Yeah.
I just I don't want my business out there like that. I was like, well, I'm not
I
gonna
don't
give
know
you
what
my
to tell
phone.
you. Yeah.
I don't know. No, I can't help you.
Yeah.
If it's an Uber, I could pay for an Uber as long as it's
Mhm.
not that expensive. I can get
Yeah.
you where you need to go, but I'm not gonna give you my phone. You can't
Yeah.
have my phone. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. The phone is attached. When we gonna have the chips? I'm ready for the chip now.
The chip
I'm ready
in our skin and it
in
just
our skin. Yeah,
no,
I'm ready for that.
there's too many I feel like there's a lot of ethical issues with that.
I'm signing the consent forms. Go ahead and put the chip in me. Pause. Hold on, that was crazy.
That was wild.
Oh yeah, that was wild. All right, no, just scammers out there. I just thought that was
Yeah.
funny because scamming does backfire on you.
Yes.
Eventually, karma catches up with you.
If you believe in
You
that kind of thing,
scam.
sure.
I I I believe in it. That keeps me to make sure I do non-bad stuff because I'm like, look, I don't want this coming back on me.
There's too many people walking around free for karma to be a real thing.
Yeah, well, we don't know what happens to them in the long run.
Well, we don't.
Hey, look, they could get dementia. That's one thing I'm really afraid of. I don't want dementia. Go ahead and take me out now, Lord.
No,
They could get the gout.
absolutely.
What if they get the
Now
sugar?
gout is shingles, man.
Woo! You
No,
know what? The shingles was happening. Remember that? Remember the
not the
commercials that came
shingles.
out? Remember the commercials that came out about 5 years ago? People was like, all those old people that had chickenpox back in the day was starting to get the shingles.
Yeah,
That's karma.
that's not
Somehow,
karma.
some way, that's karma.
I don't think that that's what that is.
Jay, what do you want to tell these people out here? Because we done wandered off the deep end on this at the end of this episode.
Rest in power to Fat Man Scoop.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really know what to say after that. That's you brought us down a little bit, but I'm
No,
gonna
I
just say,
mean, it gave us a lot of great music, and I will definitely miss hearing Fat Man Scoop. You know, and the songs on Missy Elliott albums.
he gave me the greatest scene in the Boondocks. That's what he gave me.
Oh, okay, what is that?
It was when he was questioning Thugnificent.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah.
watch the Boondocks, so I don't.
Oh, you gotta watch it. He was an Aaron Magruder, University of Maryland cat, worked on Diamondback newspaper like I did. But anyway,
I know who
ladies
he
and
is.
gentlemen, yeah, I know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Whew. That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast. But the real party is on our Patreon page. After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling genuine and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace. Freedom over fame. Freedom over fame. The cycle stays the same.